Okay, so good afternoon, all of you, and welcome to our virtual classroom. Our organization is a free education, counseling, and referral resource for seniors and their families. We are presenting this class in partnership with the Bartlett Senior Center. We are very thankful to Michelle Pinedo and to Linda Wilson for helping us to publicize about this event. We want you to know that this class is being recorded, so people who were not able to join us live can get a chance to watch it, or if you want to review some information. Okay, a bit about me. I'm a community resources assistant here at H.E.L.P. My grandma was the most influential person as I was growing up, and for all the good that came with that and some of the bad. She lived almost to 99 years old, being able to maintain her independence through lots of ordeals until close to the end. Perhaps this is the reason for taking the decision of combining a career in gerontology with a degree in interior design to help seniors, people with dementia and disabilities to remain as independent as possible. One second. I don't know if you hear it, but I was getting some reverberation. Okay, going back to class. We are going to have here a bit of an overview. We are going to go through emotional clutter, managing the space and what's our environment, downsizing, and finally hoarding behavior. And we are going to present later on, and if you want the slides, you can keep all the information later. You will have lots of resources and a bibliography if you want to consult later on. A disclaimer, each of these areas could be presented as a class on its own. We have people who are participating in this class whose main focus differs from one another. So I will do my best to address specific questions by the end of the class, and you will always have the possibility to call help or email us for more information. Again, email me if you are interested to receive the PDF with all the slides of this class. Okay, emotional clutter. This is a big subject, and I'm sure that many of you are here because of emotional clutter, meaning that you are attached to objects because you're carrying memories. There is that sentimental value to it, and it is very hard to let go. Now, it is interesting that throughout our lives, we go through rites of passage, and throughout those rites of passage, we carry stuff with us. I remember, again, going back to my grandma, I spent a lot of time with her, and I used to treasure hunt in her closets. I have, again, kept a lot of things from her, but at the same time, as the time passed by, I'm carrying stuff from when I was a teen, as you can see here in the cycle, right? Some things of my room when I was a teenager, I still have them. Or my mom trying to get rid of them, I was like, no, don't throw it away. I want to keep it. So I'm carrying those. I still have my trolls that my dad gave me when I was 8 years old. I have tons of boxes in my garage with stuff from my kids that, you know, I don't want to get rid of. Some I donate, but still there is noticeable the amount of stuff that we collect in our garage. And many of it may be, again, objects that we are attached to it. I'm nothing to do with not keeping some stuff that they bring us good memories, of course. But I'm sure many of you understand that we tend to overdo it, to say it somehow. Then as the time passes by, now I'm an adult, I have my own house, I have my furniture, I have a lot of, you know, my whole household. So let's go back. I'm having things from my grandma that truly were objects of belonging to her life. Then I'm having my stuff as a teen, the stuff from my kids, my household possessions. At the end of the day, my kids will have to deal with all of that, right? It's a whole collection. I mean, I will be grandma of another Kari in the future, or whoever is going to be named, and maybe we'll keep my stuff, maybe no. What's going to happen with all our stuff? So again, we aren't talking at the moment about hoarding. We are talking about collecting stuff, again, having emotional attachments, not being able to let go. the more space we seem to have, the more we collect. And it's interesting because you may go to a house that looks super organized, and you will never imagine that perhaps there is a spare room where there is, somebody is collecting all their emotional clutter, or the garage. If the space is available and you have this situation with you, you're dealing with these memories and emotions in this way, then there is clutter somewhere else. It's somewhere that is, responding to this type of issue. So we won't be watching the video because there is no time. You can do it by yourself later on. But this famous movie, Toy Story, right? I think they're already on the number 5. And the reason why the more sequels there is, and the sequels are one best than the other, which is interesting, right? Usually sequels are not good. But the reason being is that people identify so much with Andy and his toys. Of course, by Toy Story 3, Andy's already grown up. He's going to college. His mom wants to clean up her garage, and Andy has still his toys there. So if you have a chance, it's a 4-minute short clip of the movie, but you will absolutely, many of you, identify with the situation. Again, why does it feel like a chunk is leaving my soul? Right? I have this, I don't know, sweatshirt from my grandma, and it's full of holes, but I cannot let it go. I cannot put it in the trash. It's my grandma's. It carries so many stories, her personality, sometimes sentimental value. It was expensive. This is something that I bought and I don't need anymore. It was so expensive. Or I will give it to my kids someday. These are the stories that we tell ourselves, their excuses, so we can maintain the attachment and justify to keep it, right? If we have the space, we will just stuck it somewhere. So again, there is something about feelings, about emotions, and we will keep digging in. What is trapping us is the stories. And if we let go of the stories that are attached to the object, then we will get rid of so much weight. We will feel so much free. So again, it is important to do the work. And what I'm meaning with doing the work. How to process emotions. Somehow, we may collect knowledge throughout our lives, through life experience, through careers, being working moms, dads, whatever, good citizens that try to help and learn from everything. But why nobody teaches us how to process our emotions? Why we are, when somebody cries, the first thing we tell them is, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. Why? It's okay to cry. You're processing your emotions. You need to cry. It just gives you relief. Why not crying? Why, if I'm sad, we always tell ourselves, no, don't be sad. Don't be scared. Don't be, it's an emotion, and the least we give, we accept them, and then we process them, the more in trouble we are. And the more we, in this case, use it to attach ourselves to objects, to clutter. So first thing, you notice it. Pay attention to your emotions, what you hold, an object with a sentimental value. Are you feeling something when you are holding that, I don't know, that coffee mug from your mom that's all yellowish and may not be making any sense to keep it anymore, or whoever object that you have that you for some reason you cannot get rid of? What you notice? Okay, what's the emotion when you are holding it? Then name it. I am sad. I feel lonely. I miss them. I miss those times. What is that you are feeling? And then allow the feeling. Stay with the feeling. It's hard, right? You are not used to feeling sad or scared or whatever. You don't want to miss, but it is good to have that acceptance, allow yourself to feel. And then after that, relax into it. Take few deep breaths and notice if the feeling changes somehow, you know, or there is a shift. Now, what do we win with this? We are processing our emotions. And when we are giving ourselves the space to process our emotions, we are detaching ourselves at the same time from the object. The object doesn't own us anymore because we own our emotions related to that object. As we process our emotions, we are detaching ourselves from the object. You can even try journaling. That may be a good idea, you know, to dig in deeper, you know, what's going on. And it's okay to cry. As we say, it will help you process the energy of those emotions, and you will feel so much relief afterwards. You see, okay. For example, discovering your feelings can offer you clues about how you want to live your life today. If you miss your kids, spend more time with your let's say you're keeping stuff from your kids, right? Like I have, see it, all this. Why you collect so many of these necklaces that my kids gave me? I mean, you know, when I touch it, somehow I feel like I go back to that time when they were little in preschool, and that's why I collect them. You know, it's like maybe I miss when they were little. I miss the dependency they used to have on me when they were little. So again, maybe what will be the answer to this? Well, let's say you miss your grandkids or kids, then make time, make plans to spend time with them. That's the answer to this type of situation. I don't need to keep a whole collection of necklaces. I should plan an activity, go out with them, replace it for something in the right now that can be truly take care of that emotion. And what I truly want, that is not the necklaces, is the experience that I had with my kids. And thank God, I can plan something and spend more time with them. Again, does it mean that I need to throw all of them away? No, but maybe I should just keep one. That's enough. You know, no 100 million. And then this is something that you can practice. And little by little, you will notice that, again, there is no reason to be overwhelmed by clutter. I don't know, you find your dance shoes from ballet shoes from 1964, and then you hold them, and then you start to feeling emotions. What type of emotion are you feeling? Why are you keeping them? Those shoes are telling you what? And perhaps it's melancholy, you know, of that time in your life. However, what about if you are brave enough to enroll yourself right now in a ballet class for seniors? Just do that. You don't need the torn shoes that, you know, they're from, again, 1964, you cannot donate them. The whole thing of keeping yourself with those shoes are related to the experience, to that memory. So why, if that was a moment of your life that made you happy, why you cannot recreate it right now as a senior? There are ballet classes for seniors. These are just examples, but to relate how we can translate those attachments into clear plans to take care of our emotions, enjoy life today, and at the same time, getting rid of all the clutter, right? Live a lighter life. Body doubling. Try working with a spouse, a girlfriend, friend, put music, have your favorite snacks. A friend can help you to put things in perspective, and it is going to be easier to let go if you are not alone. So don't make it all like a catastrophe, you know, just make it like a, you know, like you meet with a friend, you're talking, you're chatting, you're going through things. Of course, you have to set up in a specific time, right? It's not all about talking and not doing the job that you got together to do, but at the same time, you can make it easier on you. There are strategies like these ones that they can make it be more tolerable. Another one, tactile sympathy. And the thing is that when we hold an object in our hands, it triggers a lot of emotions. And again, you will ask me, like, what? Every time I grab an object, I have to go through all these processes? No. The more you practice it, the more you get used to of detaching yourself from the objects, the easier it's going to be to put them on a cardboard box and let them go, to donate them, put them on the trash, whatever you're selling them. But at the beginning is maybe, or with certain things that are very hard to let go, maybe it's better if somebody else is holding it for you, so you can be more objective, you can even more logical in what decision you need to take. You know, should I keep it, should I let it go? And then again, it somehow putting the distance, it will help you to separate your sentiments from the practical reasons for what you're keeping them, if they are practical reasons for what you're keeping the subjects. Okay, so short review. We accept our emotions. Remember that connecting with those emotions can help you to know that those memories are always with you and don't need to be triggered by a thing. So after you go through understanding why you're attached to this object, you're free. So again, the love from that person who that object belongs, that time in life is yours. It's not of the object and lives in you. It's not, it shouldn't, you don't need an object to trigger those good feelings. Again, you may keep, absolutely, you may keep, we all have the right to have some objects that we are sentimentally attached, because again, it's good to have some stuff. But we are talking when things just are taking over, and then we truly, or it's causing us to feel sad because we are carrying so much things from the past that we are not making time or figuring out what we want today. You know, as time passes by, we change. So maybe what happened in the past now may have consequences today, or we have new opportunities coming for us. So surrounding ourselves from all the memories of the past, absolutely, yes, it can be comforting, but up to a point, and we need to learn to draw that line. Some things absolutely can stay, and display them nicely. If you are going to keep stuff, then find them a good spot when you can see them. Don't keep them in a box somewhere far away, deep into your garage, just because you cannot let it go. You're not enjoying it either, you know? So just be mindful of what, if you want to keep it, be sure it's worth it, and you display it nicely or put it somewhere when it can truly keep giving you that comfort that you're looking for. Okay, healthy boundaries. Create a memories jar. So you have lots of stuff, like let's say my little, this is not a necklace, it's a tiny bracelet. Okay, here, memory jar. I don't know, if I have a sweater from my grandma, should I keep the whole sweater? Do I need all this taking space in my drawer that is full of holes? Or I can just maybe cut a little piece and then into the jar. And then I don't need all this space being taken over. And look, this is one sweatshirt. God knows what people collect and collect and collect. So again, you need to ask yourself those questions and then take the time to do the work. This is an interesting one. People who have mausoleums of their grown-up kids, their kids' room. Now they're grown-ups, they're gone, they're living their lives. And again, the best you can do is try to repurpose that room for something that you like to do right now. You know, it's the best way to show them that life goes on and that each stage in life can be enjoyable, can be plentiful, and there is growth. Another mausoleum situation, and we will dig in on this one later on much more, is the parents' house. Emptying and selling a deceased parent's house, or you and your parents are downsizing to a smaller house, you or your parents are moving to an assisted living community or nursing home. These are all opportunities situations in which people usually need to downsize. Again, we will focus more later on, but again, there are big challenges. Managing space and environment. Now, this looks super neat, right? So why it looks so neat and relaxing? It is an uncluttered space. That's why. It's very simple. It's not full of stuff everywhere. Like everything has a purpose and a place in that picture. So that's why it's so relaxing. However, this is a picture, okay, from an interior design magazine, and none of us expects to live exactly like that. However, it gives you the idea that there is a reason why behind it. It has nothing to do with the type of furniture, the cost, the colors. It has to do with the fact that everything seems to have a place over there. It's uncluttered. Keep it neat. It says H.E.L.P, and she is an organizer. She says, if you create a place for everything to live in your house and put it all away when you are done, you will have significantly decluttered your space. Again, you can have as many books as they neatly fit in your bookcase. You want your place to look uncluttered? That's the simplest of rules. Use this. Just focus on the space you have and don't go over it. If your bookcase has space for like 20 books, then you are going to keep 20 books. The rest needs to be out. Now, during the work, you may realize that whatever, you may want to donate those books, you may want to put them in another room. I mean, but the whole thing is talking about one specific room. If you want it to look decluttered, just don't just stack things on top of each other or try to cram things. When you don't have the space, you don't have the space. The more you learn to have enough as it fits on your bookcases, on your drawers, on cabinets, the better your house is going to, the more decluttered your house is going to look like. And it's not about buying expensive storage systems or dozens of stackable plastic transparent bins. It's about conforming and working with the space you have. If you buy more storage before learning to control your clutter, the problem will increase quickly as the new bookcases and boxes get filled up. Again, learn to work with the space you have. Ask yourself, can I easily, safely access what I'm looking for? Can I clearly see what I have? How quickly can I locate my snowballs? And these questions point to convenience, good use of our time, and safety. I mean, I don't have to tell you the amount of people that had terrible accidents climbing to an attic or going to the garage trying to reach that suitcase on the back of the cabin. I mean, it is not, especially as you get older, I mean, it's not worth to take the risk. Just be sure that what you want to have a lot of stuff, okay, great. But be sure that you can access them safely, that you can see where they are. And then, you know, just it is helpful because then you don't end up buying doubles or triples just because you forgot you have them because you have so much clutter, right? So if you manage yourself one more time, accepting the space that you are having, then everything will be so much easier in your life. It's a matter of conveniency, good use of your time and money, your safety. So living this way has so many advantages for you. And as I just said, as we get older, keeping an uncluttered space is important for safety reasons. You can easily trip in an uncluttered room. It is an unhealthy environment. An uncluttered space can help to easily, an uncluttered space can help you to easily remember what you have, as we just said. However, let's say you are dealing with someone with memory issues. What's best, an uncluttered space or a cluttered space? Obviously, the less clutter you have, the easier it's going to be for you and your loved one that's having some memory issues to thrive in the house and be happy. Again, even for yourself, if you are the one having the memory issues, you need to unclutter your house. The less things you have, and again, it's not about having less as much as having things where when you can easily access them and see them, that can be such a big help. And other thing, when you are in a very cluttered space, you can start feeling depressed, you get anxiety, you cannot focus. And here, this one is very important. A cluttered space can hinder your possibilities to find new opportunities to enjoy life. Again, you have an empty space, again, empty mind, you kind of start to figure out new things, you know, there's a space. There is a space in your house, there is a space in your mind. On this one, I'm not going to be reading one by one, but it's a great list for dealing with excuses. Okay, it's a whole collection there. One of my favorites is, does it really fit me? Before all my pregnancies, I still having my jeans thinking that, you know, somehow by miracle, I will go back there, and I keep them because of that, right? It reminds me of, but it's worth it. They're taking space in my closet that I could be putting clothing that I can enjoy right now. Why I'm doing that to myself? That's very common. I'm not sure how many men do that, but I'm guaranteed that many ladies here, they identify with what I'm talking about. Okay, some strategies. Avoid the perfectionist trap, meaning start with a small, manageable project. Pick a drawer, right? Small, 5 minutes. You can put yourself a timer. And then go from there. Get used to this idea of, I am going to do the work. Again, this is not emotional, okay? This is more practical. This is a practical part of our class. The emotional part will take you longer, obviously, but now we are talking about the drawer, you know, those drawers that we put everything there. 5 minutes, just do it. Start with that, and accept that it won't be at all perfect. Your life is not going to turn upside down just because you are taking this class. It will take time. You need to give yourself time, be patient, and accept that you may have some mistakes may happen. You may have some regression on the process, which is absolutely normal. But little by little, you will start seeing improvement. More strategies. Use a timer. If you're struggling, oh, I don't want to start, this is terrible, you know, and obviously you are looking to entertain yourself by watching something on Netflix, you have to cook, you have to go buy groceries, there's so many excuses you can put yourself to just don't start. No, put yourself a timer, said, okay, during the next 5 minutes, I am going to work on this, and then that's it, then I will go and keep going with my life. And then little by little start to increase the time, okay? So then you can get into bigger projects. And you will have so much satisfaction that you will be more than willing to keep doing it. Put music, prepare yourself some snacks. So don't use the excuse that, oh, I'm hungry. Okay, yeah, here, you have the snacks. You know, you can munch on slices of apple or whatever. You know what? Maybe just pick your favorite snacks if that you think may work better. And prepare some boxes, and no 100 million boxes, 3 or 4. What goes to the trash, what you don't want to use, and if it's not really in good shape, nobody should use it, right? I mean, put it on the trash. Some things you may be able to donate, absolutely, it's perfect. Some things you may want to sell. Some you may realize that, no, you want to keep them, and that's okay. We aren't talking about throwing everything out of the house, but just keep what really makes sense and truly matters to us and fits in our space. Okay, now downsizing. As we said, the mausoleum situation. Why mausoleum situation? Because you enter to your parents' house and then you find out the whole life. Kind of like my grandma's closet, right? Everything is there. Your childhood, your parents' I don't know, your mom's wedding dress, your parents' best, I don't know, the holiday, all the holiday pictures, and and the best set of dishes and so many memories. How can we get rid of all that? It feels like we are letting go of our parents. Like, how can you betray them and get rid of their stuff? I mean, it feels so safe, but at the same time, let's go back to emotions, right? They're objects. The love that your parents have for you and you have for your parents is not stored in an object. Now, there may be few objects you absolutely should keep because they give you the good memories and then you feel the attachment and belong to them. Yeah, absolutely. But again, do the work, process your emotions, go one by one and decide what's worth to keep, what needs to be let go. Okay, small, it's not specifically about the subject we are touching, but I think it's good to have it, to review it, because it's a criteria in regards of when is the moment to think on downsizing, especially for senior parents, people who are aging, and then things start happening to them. You shouldn't be, it's not about checking one box from this list. Several boxes should be checked when to decide that, you know what, maybe my parents need more help. In some cases, people can age in place, but in some cases they need, maybe they move to a smaller apartment instead of living in a big house. But in some cases, people need even more assistance or for social reasons or for different social opportunities. I'm sorry. People may decide that the best choice for them is moving into an independent living community or assisted living community, depends on the grade of help that your parents may be in need of. So again, mental health issues, obviously cognitive decline, being isolated, starting to see all of a sudden that the parents start to have stains here and there. Again, it's not about one reason. Several situations, their safety, they start having falls, housekeeping starting to go down. It depends on who the person is. Look, some people are just not into housekeeping at all, you know, but if you start to see a difference between how things used to be and then right now, so again, it's not the only reason to move out, but there may be something to start to pay attention. And meals, they're losing weight, they are, you know, just having trouble to get to the grocery store, spoiled food in the refrigerator, their social life is diminishing, again, they feel isolated. Again, these are all reasons for what maybe is time to make changes and then have to confront, right, the whole household, what's left in that house. The wedding dress, obviously, you end up looking, they're moving out and you find the wedding dress. What do? Well, there's some options here that I end up researching. You know, can be a christening garment for a grandchild. You can use it in flower bouquets for a granddaughter's wedding. Love letters. Those love letters, as beautiful as they are, they belong to your parents. They don't belong to you. So yeah, you may want to read one and then keep one on your jar, but you cannot keep the whole collection, because at the end of the day, that will, you know, who will have to deal with all that? Your kids. And then, you know, then it's going to be their problem. So is it worth it? So just read them and send them out, right? Send the energy to the universe. Again, just keep one. Family photos. Don't keep all the landscapes, okay? Maybe just keep three photos from one of the favorite holidays, the memories and the best memories you have, and then that's it, right? Maybe 3 of each vacation or holidays. If someone has military medals, then just frame them, you know? Just give them the respect that they deserve, honor them in that way. One interesting story is when you find your mom's crocodile purse, I'm sorry, my accent. What happened is that when you see that, right, you don't want to throw it away. That's your mom's, and you kind of remember her using it, or you wonder, well, if she kept it, it's because it was so important for her, so why will throw it away? And again, remember processing your emotions. When you grab this purse, do the work. What are you feeling? Right? Is the love of your mom? I mean, what's the reason for what you will keep it? Because you probably won't be able to use it. If it's in very good shape and I don't know, it's somehow trendy right now, yes, absolutely. You know, you may find a treasure over there, but it is worth it. Is the love of your mom there? It's what? I mean, and maybe think that purse is related to a time when your mom was young and, you know, she was living the life, and then recognize that, and then do the work and then let it go. Some ideas. Again, you can repurpose the mug into, as you can see here, some little planters, and then you can get a lot of your shirts of your father, and then make this beautiful blanket. Look, again, it's not about not having objects that have sentimental value for us, but it's again learning to put boundaries. Okay, we have again boxes, 3 or 4 categories. If you can, keep the boxes available. Okay, not only for when you are doing this work of like decluttering, because it's a great way to just, you know, keep going about it. If the boxes are there, you will certainly fill them up. Keep going with downsizing. What we do with all this? Well, if you want to sell, OfferUp is a good choice. eBay, Amazon. If you have like high-end, I don't know, purses and then shoes and stuff, Poshmark, Craigslist. Now, if it's about donating, I know all of you know Godwill, but try Habitat for Humanity. They may be interested, especially in furniture, in bigger stuff. And then a lot of shelters. There is a lot of families that regretfully right now don't have a home. And then maybe your parents' furniture and stuff, like the big stuff, kitchen appliances, and they may help furnish and fill up someone's another family house that they're in big need. Obviously, the Salvation Army, those are the classics, right? But again, there are options there. Now, recycling, not everything can be recycled. And then check your area's municipality for their household hazardous waste program. They have drop-off sites and they have curbside pickups. I think some cities have 2 or 3 opportunities a year where if you have like big stuff, like they will come and pick it up. Again, donate anything in decent shape, and some stuff cannot be donated or recycled and you have to put it in the trash. Again, if you have an issue with it, next time you are going to purchase something, take a moment to ask yourself if you really have a need of a new dress or a new kitchen gadget. You know, just before doing it, just take that time. More on downsizing. Again, OfferUp, don't work for OfferUp. The reason why I am mentioning OfferUp is because it's very easy to manage, and you can set it up as such that you give your zip code, and so people from the area will come to pick up stuff, so you can easily, you know, just get rid of the stuff or sell the stuff because people are close by. You know, you don't need to be inquiring in shipping costs and all the headache. It's very easy to use, and you can even contact us if you need help how to install it or with any app. Just feel free to contact us and we will do our best to help you. Another one is Buy Nothing. There is a Facebook group, Buy Nothing, and then they have an app now, and people just exchange stuff. You know, they swap. They post things that they don't need anymore. They need to be in good shape though, right? Be careful what you post there, nobody will pick it up. But just it's a good way to maybe what's not working for you anymore, maybe, you know, is a treasure for someone else. Okay, now we arrive to the serious issue in regards to clutter is when a dear one is hoarding. They know they need help, but they only will accept it when they're ready. How is hoarding different from collecting? Well, collectors have organized collections. There is not much repetition unless there is some value on having repeated pieces. Again, collectors don't crowd their spaces as much that they cannot go use the restroom, or you cannot open a window. Okay, if you're a collector, well, good luck, you're a collector, but that doesn't mean you are a hoarder. Again, having a emotional clutter, that doesn't make you a hoarder. Hoarding is a mental issue. What is compulsive is called compulsive hoarding. And as we can see on the picture, is too much. I mean, this couple are living surrounded by all this stuff that may not make any sense, but it is the way they are building their environment. There is a reason why they're building this environment this way. It gives them happiness, it keeps them safe. So in their mind, this is the way to go. Now, up to a certain point, they may deny that there is an issue, but deep in there, they know it's an issue because many of them refrain from inviting people. If there is something right, if it's okay, then why you don't want to invite people? Why you're keeping it a secret? So again, this is a interesting situation, right? And then again, they need to be respected and they need understanding. But that doesn't mean there is nothing to do about it. I mean, there is a lot that we can do about to help them. Okay, it's a much bigger problem of what we think. Here at H.E.L.P, we receive a lot of calls from people who have hoarding issues. Just the numbers keep increasing. It may start during your teenage years and then eventually ends up developing into the senior years because as the hoarding symptoms seems to intensify over time, that's why they end up fully developing when a person is already in their senior years. Now, if your teen is keeping the room a mess, that doesn't mean he's a hoarder. He simply needs to do his job and clean up his room. However, pay attention. What type of mess is he having in the room, you know? But again, it's not common that teens will have hoarding issues. It's something that develops more over time. Some people may develop it to trauma, something happened in their past. But again, that doesn't, if you have trauma in the past, somebody who went to war or whatever reason went through a depression, that doesn't mean that they're going to become hoarders. So all the hoarders are hoarders because of that. They may be one of several reasons for why people end up developing the disorder. And they usually live alone or they live with someone else that has the same issue, because obviously if the person wouldn't have the issue, will move out, wouldn't be able to tolerate, right, the situation. Okay, they have obviously difficulty to get rid of items. You cannot circulate through the room. Mainly is that it's unsafe, right? There are piles and piles of things that they may, sometimes from time to time you hear cases of hoarders that end up finding them under a pile of whatever, dead. You know, I mean, it's sad. It is a dangerous issue. Clutter may be located at home, office, in a storage unit. They may start in one point and end up totally in other. Again, we are not talking about you and your garage full of whatever you're collecting. This is, again, a mental issue, something that people cannot truly control, is beyond them. There is something about an obsession on surrounding themselves of objects. They cannot, if something breaks down, they cannot call no one to fix it because the people cannot fix it. They can go through, they don't want nobody to know about it. So there is, things start to get worse and worse. Now we go back to feelings, right? Emotions. Look, strong positive feelings of when they get something. See, why they collect so much stuff? Because they get joy and delight when they get new items. That, oh, it feels so good. I have a new Tupperware. I have a new book. So new, I don't know, a new sweatshirt. But that gives them happiness. Now, getting rid of the stuff, they connected with guilt, with fear, with anger. So please keep in mind that this strategy that we review at the beginning of processing your emotions, it is a good strategy to work with them to challenge their perceptions and their ideas, right? Because if we start grabbing an object and then work about what are you feeling about it and challenge them, so maybe little by little, right, we may get this more like a behavioral therapy, we may be able to see some improvement. Again, with a lot of love and a lot of patience. Obviously, the excuses, right? They have their own excuses. Everything is valuable and useful, and you feel responsible, and you shouldn't get rid of things because of the environment, they may tell you. You know, everything is fine. Now, compulsive hoarding activities may be related or exacerbated by other mental health issues, anxiety, depression, obsessive compulsive disorder, memory loss. And it's interesting, but research has not been conclusive in regards to treating people with hoarding issues with some medicine that's being used for obsessive compulsive disorder. It's not been proved yet that they can diminish their symptoms. However, if by treating the symptoms of depression and anxiety with medication, a person with a hoarding disorder may be more agreeable to participate from therapy and decluttering. So it's a combination of factors. And again, very important to have your support and to have the support of a therapy, right? Because if not, quickly they will backtrack. They will go back to where they used to be. Don't even, sometimes people pay these expensive companies and they come and they declutter the whole house, but they don't do the work of assisting the person with a hoarding issue, providing them, you know, some psychological, emotional support, treatment, and then it's just things quickly will go back to where they used to be. What things people who are hoarding, they hoard the most? A lot of mail, books, clothing, as you can see, containers, boxes. However, the serious becomes, it is already a problem, right? To have a house cluttered with all that, absolutely. But things are going to get way much more complicated when you will start to have dirty dishes, moldy food, animal droppings, flammable chemical materials. I mean, things start now seriously becoming dangerous. There is no way to access a window. You cannot walk through the hallways. I mean, they may not be able to use the kitchen, or because they cannot use the restroom, they may hide things all over the place. You don't want to be there. I mean, it's really unhealthy. And there is a big risk of fire. It's dangerous for them. It's dangerous for family members. It's dangerous for their neighbors. So now the situation, it is life-threatening. And sadly, this is the moment when we usually hear about these cases, is when finally a family member, landlord, or a neighbor are in panic. You know, it's going to be fire, it's a disaster, there are rats all over the place. So again, I mean, this didn't start this way. It's a whole process until we got here. But again, there is not enough knowledge in our communities about the situation, or how to deal with it, how to work with them. And again, usually people with a hoarding issue are very good at hiding it. Okay, so let's start what we do now. So you will have to call the police and then give the name. We are talking again at the people that they are at high risk, okay? So name, address, you have to tell them as much information about you have about these people that they're having the hoarding issue, and then mention if he's a senior, about his health, if frail or isolated. The police may deal with the issue, visit them themselves, or they may call the fire department for a cold inspection process. And then I'm explaining here step by step how is what's the procedure. They're going to give them notice, right, that by certain date they need to have the space cleaned up based on what the codes are, right, for safety and evacuation standards. Is mainly that. The fire department will want to be sure that if they need to enter that house because there is a fire, they can quickly access, right, and then rescue whoever they need to rescue, while not putting their own people at risk. And at the same time, they need to be sure that there is no obvious risk of fire, like the situation is as such that, you know, there is no flammable materials all over the place, or things falling on top of close to the stove. I mean, they will, that's mainly the criteria of evaluation. And they're going to give them, it's a whole process. It's going to be 3 citations, and they have to show that they've been giving improvement. That's why they do it 3 times, because they understand that things may not change all of a sudden. So as long as they see that there is improvement, the process will keep going. And again, they will give them the time. And it's going to be an office conference. And then by then, if this keeps repeating itself and they're not fixing it throughout the citations, obviously at this point, Adult Protective Services is going to get involved, and they have the ability, they have the resources through different city departments to gather the help needed to clean up the house. However, they may put a lien, more than probably, if there is no, people cannot pay the fine for not cleaning up the house, they're going to put a lien in the house to cover for the cost of cleaning the house. And the other issue is the people are, these people with the hoarding issue are renting, they are going to be evicted from the house. Look, if it's your house, why you will have someone doing this mess? I mean, and besides, it's dangerous. So this is a cause of eviction. And then again, you may lose your house because if they put a lien and you don't pay, then God knows what, because you are seriously having a cognitive issue, you're having a mental health issue. I mean, you are in a dangerous situation. So again, immediate steps that need to be taken, right? The fire department was there. What can I do? The first thing, cleaning the hallways, doors, and access to windows. This is not like, oh, let's process your emotions and see. No, this is, you have to be sure that, okay, it's all a paradise of hoarding, but you need to clear up the hallways, doors, and access to windows. That there is no excuse, because again, is their safety. They need to be able to evacuate. If something happens, somebody needs to get in. They need to have access to a restroom and then hopefully to cook in a kitchen that's safe. Again, removing and organizing flammable materials to minimize the risk of fire. So again, nobody will expect that the situation of these people changes automatically, but this is the first thing to do, is cleaning hallways, doors, and access to windows. Now, what we do with all the rest, right? There is packed. So there are companies that they will charge you a fee. They even specialize on this type of cases, and they will clean the house, and they will dispose of the trash properly, and they will do the whole job, but it's not cheap. What we do when we don't have the means, right? Well, here I have a wonderful coworker, Ardi. She was working with me. She gave me some ideas, because as she said, you need to think out of the box. Perhaps contacting the trash collection service and from where the house is located, and explain the situation, explains that they don't have the means to pay for a professional company, if they can donate the provision of a dumpster. So throughout a couple of months, little by little, the house can be emptied, and they can, you know, remove the trash with the dumpster. Another way to do it is ask for the collaboration of family and neighbors to participate cleaning, to participate taking with themselves and putting on their own trash cans, in their own bins, little by little. Check if the Waste Management City program have some funds available to help, or a unit that can help to remove the trash, as it may be rodent infested or pose risk of fire. remember that when you are at this level, I mean, they may have the money to help you, or they may just call adult protective services and things may end up rolling in another direction. And again, somebody needs to take care of this. So there are acts and consequences. And the more we wait, the worse it's going to be. You can even, maybe this is, maybe, I don't know, let artists know about the house state available. You know what, a lot of creative people, you will be shocked the things that they do and the ideas they come up with, things that you never thought about before. The other one is, I didn't put it here, but if there are things that maybe you're able to repurpose, maybe Habitat for Humanity, as I mentioned before, and gathering funds through GoFundMe, Fundly, to hire a company that can take care of all this mess. Again, it needs to be done with respect, with sympathy, encouraging them, teaming up with them, reflecting, right? Doing the work of processing the emotions, ask them, right? You cannot insult them. Again, they have, it's a mental illness. They're not doing it on purpose. And until they internally are motivated to change, they may not accept your offer to help. The only thing is to let them know that you are available to help them, to talk to them, to just be there for them. And again, strategies, challenging their thoughts in a respectful manner. Again, it's not about telling them what you think you're doing. They are attached to all these objects. They give them happiness. They feel safe. Is their environment where they feel safe. And you can add up a reward. You can tell them, well, if we go out and you don't get new things, then we go to your favorite restaurant. What about that? So you can start to create like a pattern, right, of behavior, where if you don't get more stuff, then there are good things coming for you. So that has to do more like with behavioral therapy, but I mean, it's a combination of strategies that need to be taken. Here I posted the is the DSM-5, I'm sorry, is the specific how it is diagnosed. Again, this is something more that has to do with what a psychiatrist will be looking into to see if what the person is doing responds to this description. But again, I just want to put it here because I think it's important that you inform yourselves of, okay, where is the line, right? When is hoarding and when is collecting, and then when is really something that needs to be taken care by a doctor, psychiatrist in this case. So here are several clinical assessments. If you have someone who you think is a hoarder and you will maybe benefit to look about these clinical assessments, because again, that will help you to guide you through when the situation is serious enough, when it's time to call the police or call the fire department or call a doctor or call their family. I think it can be of help. It may be help for someone who is in social worker, but again, the information is available to the public. You have the links, and this one, it's just this type of assessment is checking on acquisition of stuff. Then we have another one. I'm sorry, the pictures aren't that clear, but it shows you how it's talking about clutter. So it has several pictures when you need to pick what's the level of clutter that is in the house. And obviously, I think after level 3 is already a serious issue. And they have pictures of the kitchen, the living room, the bathroom. So you can kind of like, you can use it to, again, you cannot diagnose if you're not a psychiatrist, but it may serve you as a guide. And okay, another one, hoarding rating scale. This is talking more about the emotion of how do you feel when you get new stuff? How do you feel when someone tells you that you should get rid of stuff? Like, so this one deals more with like the emotions, how they feel about it, and obviously based on the rate, you will tell if how severe the compulsion is. Again, everything is a combination. We have cognitive behavioral therapy, motivational interviewing, meaning that they work with the person with the hoarding issue to help them understand what are the benefits of changing their behavior, and then skills training. They help them how to organize and then how to declutter. Now you're thinking, well, if it's a hoarder, why they will be teaching all these things? It's so far away. No, but you know what? Everything helps. You are putting them that idea in their minds. You know, it's a possibility. And then, as we spoke before, medication. Again, there is no specific medication for compulsive hoarders, but usually compulsive hoarding comes with anxiety, depression, memory issues. So there may be other ways, like if they get medicine for depression and they don't feel that depressed anymore, so they may be, again, more looking to working on their situation and accepting help. And obviously, one more time, the many times I said, it's a combination of strategies. Where can we get help? Again, if you just with your best of intentions go and try to gather everything and take it out of the house, and then that's it, the problem is solved, and you pay whatever you have to pay, still, if you don't provide them the emotional support, you don't provide them with the help of a therapy group, the problem won't be resolved. And again, the Department of Mental Health of LA County has a program named Genesis. And what's interesting in this program is that if the senior is not willing, certainly not willing to get out of the house to seek for help, they can send a therapist, they can send a social worker to visit them and work with them. So I think is an interesting, it's a very good possibility. Now, is there a department that we know that can go and offer the help to clean up the house? Again, unless this goes to social, adult protective services, and there is a whole process, and then they will look for someone, they will clean it up, but they will look for somebody to pay the bill. So that may end up being a lien in the house. Again, I'm not part of the LA County Department of Mental Health, and I don't know exactly, I know there were plans on having a coalition built up to help on these cases, but to the best of my knowledge, and I apologize if I'm wrong, there is no specific department that can go and clean up. And I said this because we get a lot of calls. Who can we call from the city that can come and clean it up? They may clean it up, but there is going to be economic consequences to it. Okay, there is a Clutterers Anonymous. People can participate from this group and they get a peer that is another person who has hoarding issues. This is more for hoarders. I don't think it's just for the people who has emotional clutter. This is more like, you know, I have a serious issue with hoarding, so they have a peer and they work together, and is modeled after the Alcoholic Anonymous 12 Steps of Recovery, but it's not a religious program. It's more like a spiritual choice. And then it is very helpful because right now they're not having meetings in person because of COVID, but they connect over the phone and they keep, you know, track of each other, and at the same time they have to help other people. So it is a very interesting option. And then we have Children of Hoarders, is a website that was built up by a child of hoarders, and what they do specifically, they try to help the children that are living in households of people with hoarding issues. And they offer a lot of information, so it's a great resource. But this is the main story behind it, is providing the help for children who are stuck in the situation where their loved one is putting them through all this, make them live in these environments that they're so unhealthy and then catastrophic. Okay, there are this, again, we don't publicize, this is just one to show you that there is. You can start your search if you need. Their cleanup crews, and again, they charge. We have some worksheets cited here, and I think with this I'm finishing my presentation. And please let me know if you have any questions or any specific subject that you want to talk about. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can you see me there? Hello,
Yes.
hello. Is any of you have a question or? Okay, I see here, is there another comparable program in Orange County? Does a person have to live in LA to receive the help of the Genesis program? You know what? I'm not 100% sure of that answer. However, if the Genesis program themselves, they cannot reach that person because lives in another county, they may have the information. I will still contact them because they may have the information of which agency will do similar job in San Francisco or somewhere else. I mean, these type of programs are not unique to one county. They usually, if as good as they are, they will repeat through the state. So they may be a good resource to the calling the Genesis program, maybe a good way to start to find out if you are not in the area. However, they do cover like a big area, and I believe that Orange County has similar programs too. Yes, I will send you the PDF. I see, okay. Again, just email me to remind me, just in case. I know from UK, but if there is more people, just please make me the favor of sending me an email asking me for the PDF, and I will send it to you gladly.
I would like it too.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I would like it too. The PDFs of your slides are great.
Okay.
I just had a question though. I asked that question about Orange County because I have a friend who's been getting notices and, you know, violations, you know, and I just don't understand if it's considered a disability, like they really can't help it. They have a mental health issue.
Yeah.
How can they be treated that way? Like, you know, he's just not addressing it. And I feel like he could possibly lose his house. It's kind of scary for me for him. I don't know him that well, but I know him enough to know that he's not addressing it. And I'm just concerned for him. And I don't understand why they don't have a system to help these people, like, you know, rather than just giving them violations, because he's got a lot of violations piled up.
You can see the reason why they're giving him violations after violation is because they're giving him time to fix it, but they don't providing them with the resources to fix it. I mean, it's like, you fix it, but who is going to jump in? So again, it is, the more we inform our communities about this being a mental health issue, the more pressure our cities are going to get to fund programs that the city has the capability. They have the trucks, they have the people, they have everything to go and help people who have been diagnosed with this disorder. This is a disorder. It's not like, oh, these are lazy people or the dirty people. No. Of course not. Now, while I do appreciate the Genesis program providing them therapy, but there is a whole aspect of practical in regards of how we get out of the trash. And now there is this whole crisis of, there is no truly things being recycled that we think they're being recycled or not. And on top of that, these people have things that they have nothing to do with recycling. It's simply trash, things that are rotten and they're posing a risk to their neighbors. And at the same time, while I feel absolutely concerned for them and they deserve, it's part of treating a fellow human properly, helping them because they are ill. At the same time, this is a big risk issue for the neighborhood. It's a fire. I mean, there may be a fire, there may be rats all over the place. I don't know. Just it is interesting that we get a lot of calls that as of now, I cannot tell you, oh, call this number, that there is a unit that, again, they may be, but you have to go probably to adult protective services. But
Right.
they will try to make someone to pay the bills.
Spiritual might be available tomorrow after work or even today if you're let me set them up or even
So
send
this was interesting because when we started planning this class, it was going to be a whole class, whole hour talking about hoarding. Then I realized that the subject is so is such concern, and at the same time causes such controversy about it, that a lot of people may not, if you know somebody with hoarding issue, you may not even easily want to participate because you may feel, somehow like what people will think of you, like what's going to be, any misconceptions that they have. I'm not even expecting a person who has a hoarding issue to easily, some may do, to participate. So then we end up realizing that while studying the subject, that there is a whole spectrum, right? It ends up, the top is hoarding, but there are other subjects related to clutter that may be of interest of our community, like emotional clutter, downsizing, right? It's like a whole spectrum of issues of dealing with stuff. Any other question in regards to emotional clutter, strategies to keep your place neat?
Yes, Kari, I would like to get a copy of the useful list. That I think that was under the managing space.
Perfect. Yeah, I will send you the slides. And again, I am taking notes, but please email me, okay? Just email me. Let me, Kari, please send me a copy and I will do so promptly.
Okay.
Again, this class doesn't end up today. The whole idea is that you take the material, whatever you learn, and then little by little, you try to, at your own time, try to go through it, and then some things may apply to your situation, things may have nothing to do, but you know what? This information may help you to provide this help to someone else, or be more aware of what's going on in your community.
This was very helpful. Thank you very much. And I also really appreciated the, I think it was under downsizing, where they gave options, ideas about what to do with the wedding dress. Both of my granddaughters just got married. I would have loved to have had that 5 months ago, but that's beautiful. There were some very good ideas.
Yeah, and Cindy, if you need more ideas, I'm full of ideas. I mean, you can, seriously, you can contact me, and then we can work with the specific issues that you're having, or if you want to deal with a specific object that you don't want to totally get rid of it, let me know and we will work through it together. Again, I cannot present, it was a very long class. Usually we don't go over 40 minutes, but again, it's like I try to be respectful of the people who just want to know about emotional clutter, to all the people that truly need help with the hoarding issue. So again, we can still dig in a lot more, and there is a lot of other techniques. I am sure there is plenty of books. I can provide you with a list from where I get these ideas, but I just, I mean, it is, I think there is a reason why so many of you came today to the class, is because it's just the subject, is the issue of our generation. It's never in history people were able to own so much stuff, right?
Right.
From everything. Like before, people didn't have, it was all minimum. Everything that was repurposed and reused, and then people were so careful because if it breaks, how will afford one? Now things are affordable. Again, some people cannot, of course, but it's a very, especially in this country, I'm not saying all over the world, but it is very common that people have too much stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, it was a pleasure to meet you all and looking forward to meet you in another class. Again, you have my email, you have our phone number. You can talk to me, to Ardis. It's always a pleasure for us. We're here to help you. And okay, thank you so much for participating today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good afternoon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.